From Hollywood, it's time now for Edmond O'Brien as...
Johnny Dollar?
This is Lieutenant Reese down at Homicide.
Oh, morning, Lieutenant.
Did you hire a private detective named Douglas Taylor?
Yeah, I did. Why?
He was found dead this morning.
Dead?
Yeah, shot to death. I want you to come down and answer a few questions.
Edmond O'Brien in another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Great Eastern Insurance Company, Hartford. I don't know how much responsibility you will want to take for these expenses, but I hope you realize that a large share of them were incurred in an effort to protect the company. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Douglas Taylor matter. Expense account item 1, $1.20, cab fare from my apartment to Hartford Police Headquarters, Homicide Division.
Yes, sir?
My name is Dollar, Lieutenant Reese.
Oh, yeah, second door there. He's waiting. Just go right in.
Thanks. Lieutenant Reese?
Yes. You Dollar?
That's right.
Thanks for coming down.
Well, I can't say it's a pleasure, Lieutenant. I'm sorry to hear about Taylor. What happened?
We don't know yet.
Where did it happen?
We aren't sure of that either. He was found out by the freight yards, but chances are he was shot someplace else and dumped there.
How did you happen to land on me?
His wife came down to identify him this morning. She told us he was working for you.
Well, I might as well get this off my chest now, Lieutenant. You won't like it any better if I save it. I can't answer any questions about what Taylor and I were working on. Not now.
Why not?
Because it'll wreck a case that could be worth about $500,000 if you start nosing into it looking for a motive.
I hate to see you turn uncooperative so early in the game, Dollar.
I can't help it. There are usually plenty of motives around when it's a private detective. Got plenty of other places to start.
We like to have them all. I don't like this.
I don't either, Lieutenant. But I'm stuck with some confidences I'll have to stand by. I can tell you this. I don't see how my case could have anything to do with his dying. There are 2 men suspected of insurance fraud. I was following one, Taylor the other. I don't think they knew we were tailing them.
All right, Dollar. I guess I can understand the spot you're on.
I'll talk it over with the people that hired me, but I can't open it up until they give me the word.
How long had you known him?
Oh, about 2 years, I guess. Not well, but he was a good, careful worker, and I hired him when I needed somebody.
Did he talk to you about any trouble?
No. No, he never said a word.
How well do you know his wife?
I met her twice, that's all. Both times she came with Taylor when I had a check for him. She seemed like that kind of a wife.
That's as well as you knew him, huh?
That's it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It brings us back to that $500,000 you mentioned, doesn't it? That's enough to hold you on, you know.
I knew that when I told you. It's up to you.
Beat it. If you ever need some help from us, I hope I'm on hand to turn you down.
I didn't need to see him to know that Lieutenant Reese had put a plainclothesman on me as soon as I left the building, because I would have done the same in his place. So I went back to my apartment and phoned the news to the company.
I hope you've done the right thing, Johnny. I think you have.
Well, I can always change it, Mr. Nibley, but I know one thing. If I stay on the arson case, the police are going to get on it and mess it up.
Yeah, I suppose our problem is nothing to them. Are you positive there's no connection with Taylor's death?
Well, not positive, but fairly sure. Anyway, I think I'd better drop it for a while. If you'll put a couple of men on it, all we have to know is if either one contacts a professional firebug. If and when that happens, I have all the rest of the evidence we'll need.
All right, I guess that's the way to handle it. Oh, what about Taylor's wife? Did she know anything about the case?
I don't think so, or Lieutenant Reese would have found out from her. But I'll have to go see her. I'll find out.
All right, Johnny. I want to thank you for this. You can be sure the company appreciates it, and I feel awful about what happened.
Yeah, so do I. I hired him.
Mr. Dollar. I'm glad you came over. Doug spoke obvious so often. Sit down.
Thank you, Mrs. Taylor. Well, there's no way for me to say what I feel about it.
Of course there isn't.
I do want to clear your mind and my conscience on one thing, though. Doug wasn't killed because he was working for me. I'm sure of that.
Wouldn't have made any difference if he had been. Doug was 40 last month. He was 21 when I married him in New York. He was on the force there for 12 years before he opened his office here. I've been waiting for this to happen all these years. Can you understand that?
I think so.
I tried not to think of it, but not a day passed that I didn't. Now that it's happened, it's like so many things are supposed to be. The anticipation was so bad, I thought that another detective might understand.
I think I do. Mrs. Taylor, did Doug talk his cases over with you?
No, not for a long time.
You knew he was working for me.
Yes, he mentioned it, but that's all. He liked you a great deal.
He didn't speak of any trouble or the chance of any?
No. I suppose it's my fault that he didn't. He knew I worried too much as it was, and he never told me anything.
Do you know if there would be any specific reason for his being killed? I mean, outside of his work.
What do you mean?
Well, it'll sound like a rotten thing to ask, but was there anyone else in his life?
You mean a woman?
Yeah.
I don't think so. If there was, I didn't know about it.
You don't sound quite sure.
I'm not. I did suspect him. That was one of the things that kept gnawing at me all those years. But I never found out anything.
I hope you're telling me everything, Mrs. Taylor.
I am. That's the way it was being married to him. I was alone so much, I know I thought about things too much, but I couldn't help it.
Yeah. Who were some of his friends, Mrs. Taylor? I don't remember that he ever mentioned any to me.
He had a few friends here in the neighborhood. Then there's the man who was his partner for a while, Henry Varner.
Never heard of him. Where is he?
He's a house detective at the Hotel Millard.
How close were they?
Well, they were good friends. They hunted and fished. Oh.
Have the police been here?
No, Do I have to talk to them?
I don't think it'd be wise to try not to. You want me to let him in?
No. No, I'll let him in.
Hello, Mrs. Taylor. Do you feel up to answering some questions now?
Yes. Yes, I'm all right.
Thanks. I'll try not to take any more of it.
Lieutenant Reese?
Got everything taken care of?
What does that mean?
Did you get her story rehearsed?
Climb off, Lieutenant. I don't play that way.
What's this man doing here, Mrs. Taylor?
Why, my husband was working for Mr. Dollar when he was killed, so he came to see me.
Has he been asking you questions?
Yes.
What kind?
Look, Lieutenant,
Never mind, Dollar. What kind of questions, Mrs. Taylor?
About Doug being killed.
Did he tell you how to answer police questions?
No. That never came up.
Dollar, how much information on this insurance case did Taylor have in his office?
No reason for him to have any. Why?
The office had been torn to pieces by the time we got to it this morning. All or part of the motive was there, and somebody came back after it. You'd better clear yourself of this mess, Dollar, or I'm going to see to it that you're put right out of business.
I had to wait until 7 that evening before I could get to Henry Varner, the hotel detective Mrs. Taylor had spoken of. He was the slight dark type with a hairline mustache and too much aftershave powder. The kind of house dick that usually causes the feminine guests the kind of trouble they're paid to stop.
Yeah, I had a little deal cooked up this afternoon, the kind where you don't leave a phone number where you can be reached, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a doll. Hey, what's behind this Doug Taylor mess anyway? I haven't read the evening papers.
Hasn't broken yet. His wife told me you and Doug were good friends.
Oh, yeah. We used to be partners for a while. We used to get out of town once in a while.
Hunting and fishing?
Yeah, that was a pitch.
When did you see him last?
Let's get out of the lobby and go in the office, John. It seems to me the last time I saw Doug was around the middle of last week. He stopped by here on the way home.
Was he on a case?
I don't remember him saying. You know, it was one of those things. I asked him how it was going. He said the same old stuff. He get killed over one of his cases?
Looks like it. His office was broken into. Somebody after one of his reports or something, the police say.
Seems to me he was awful fed up the last few nights we got together. A couple of times he mentioned there was going to be a change. He was going to go back to New York or to Florida or out west someplace.
With or without his wife?
Without, I think. She's a creep. You know, jealous and all that stuff. The poor guy had to sneak the money to spend when we got together.
What about the money for this change he mentioned?
I don't have any idea. Never followed it up because I thought he was just dreaming. Hey, who's paying you for this? Not his wife.
Nobody. I'm trying to clear myself with the police. They think I'm holding out information on them.
Oh, how come?
He was working with me when he was killed. What made you think his wife might have hired me?
I was wondering if she hired you before. Put it down.
Say, just for the four walls and me, do you think she'd be capable of killing him?
Oh, yeah. One of those fits of hers. I really think she's a little off. Sure. If she got wind he was really leaving, if she figured he had some dough hidden in the office, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Sure, it could all fit. Maybe he got something.
He owned a car, didn't he? Police say the body was driven to the freight yard and dumped.
Yeah, it was a sedan. You might have some.
Well, I'll go see. Thanks for the time, Varner. It was dark by the time I got across town again and back to the Taylor duplex. I happened to look up at their second-floor apartment, and I saw a light switch on behind a drawn shade in one of their rooms. If I hadn't done that, a number of things would not have taken place. Mrs. Taylor? Mrs. Taylor, it's Johnny Dollar. Come on, I know you're in there. Let me in.
All right.
Hey, what's this?
Come in here, I'll kill you.
Yeah, sure.
Don't get close to me. Move right across the room.
Where's Mrs. Taylor?
She's in the bedroom. Maybe she's dead. I don't know. I hit her. She wouldn't be quiet, and I hit her with a gun. And I'll kill you, too, if I have to. I don't care how many anymore.
Why'd you kill Taylor?
Because he was too filthy to stay alive, too dirty, rotten to live. Don't you try to follow me, or I'll kill you, too, and I mean it. Nothing means anything anymore.
What are you fighting? What'd you come after?
Don't you try to follow me.
Hey, come here. Hey, come here. I had no intention of stepping out into the hall right then. He was young and obviously out of his head from fear. I hoped the shots he fired would alert the plainclothesman that I thought was still sticking to me, but he wasn't there. If I tried to lose him, it probably would have taken a week. But as I learned later, a split-second set of circumstances caused him to miss me when I left the hotel. And Douglas Taylor's killer simply disappeared into the night.
We will return you to yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in just a moment. 2 more great shows climb aboard your CBS radio bandwagon tomorrow night. Eve Arden as wisecracking our Miss Brooks returns to dear old Madison High. And the Edgar Bergen Charlie McCarthy show resumes its pot shots at your sense of humor. Listen for Our Miss Brooks, starring Eve Arden and Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy, back in business on most of these stations tomorrow night. Now, with our star, Edmond O'Brien, we bring you the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Mrs. Taylor had been knocked unconscious, but hadn't been seriously harmed. I phoned Lieutenant Reese, argued some tenants into going back to their dinners, and then did what I could for her.
He was crazy. He said he'd kill me.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right now.
When I screamed, he came at me. I knew he was going to kill me. I knew it. I knew that was the last thing I'd ever see. His face is a gun going.
Take it easy, Miss Taylor. Take it easy. He's gone, and you're all right now.
Oh, I can't explain. I knew I was dying, and I tried to hang on, and I couldn't.
Here. Can you drink some more of this?
Yes. I'll try. You saw him, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw him.
Who was he?
Hadn't you ever seen him before?
No, never. He was crazy. He told me that he killed Doug, and he killed me, too.
What else did he say?
I couldn't understand. Something about how Doug had ruined 2 lives, and I wished he could kill him again. Then I screamed and he came.
What he said mean anything to you?
No. I didn't understand any of it. I wanted to ask him why he came here.
Yeah, he was looking for something. Tore the place to pieces. Must be the same one that broke into Doug's office.
I don't understand any of it. Oh, I'm so scared. He was going to kill me.
Please, Mrs. Smith, come on. Try to relax. Get hold of yourself. Police are on their way, and they'll want to talk to you. I'll wait for them in the living room.
You didn't think he was going to wait in the hall all night, did you? Why didn't you go out after him?
One of your men has been tailing me since morning. I thought he'd be outside and that the 2 shots would wake him up. Where was he?
How hard did you make yourself to follow?
I didn't give him any trouble. A Boy Scout could have stayed on me.
Then Parker is probably following the boy. How long did you have to study him?
Less than a minute, but I think I can give you a fair description.
Let's have it.
Well, he's about 5'9", between 17 and 20 years old, I'd say. Fair complexion, small features, brown wavy hair, brown eyes, very white teeth, and what looked like a mole above his right eyebrow.
No other marks?
Not that I saw. He's wearing a ring on his left hand. I couldn't see it too well, but it could have been a class ring.
How about clothes?
Well, no hat, white shirt without tie. It was open. Flannel slacks, brown tweed jacket, and brown wingtip shoes. His clothes were well cut, looked expensive.
What kind of gun?
Revolver, Smith & Wesson, .38 with a black rubber hand grip.
You're sure of all this?
Of course I'm sure. You think I'm making it up?
I can't forget you're holding out a $500,000 motive on me.
You'll feel better if you do. You talked to witnesses that heard the shots, didn't you?
You could have fired them.
With what? I'm not carrying a gun.
You could have got rid of one.
Go look for it, Lieutenant. Then you can stop making an ass of yourself.
Watch it, Dollar.
You're doing a pretty good job of needling me. If you'll stop riding your badge for a little while, we can get together and make some sense.
Go ahead.
Doesn't it seem obvious that Taylor had something on this kid? Something big enough to be his motive? There must be a record of it. The kid missed it at the office, or he wouldn't have come here. And I'm sure he didn't take anything out of the apartment. So it must be around someplace.
If you're all through, go sit down someplace.
What's the matter with it?
It's nothing, that's all. We've gone through every file that was in Taylor's office, and we went through this apartment. There's nothing hot enough for a killing. Nothing.
Then why did the kid show up here?
I'll work on that when I'm convinced he did. None of the witnesses saw him, you know. Nobody did. Nobody but you and your friend, the widow, in there.
It turned out to be a long night. Looking back at it now, I can see how the lieutenant felt justified in pushing around somebody who wouldn't cooperate. But that night it was tough, including a paraffin test that he called inconclusive because I could have been wearing a glove when I fired the 2 shots and then gotten rid of it. But finally, at about 1:15 in the morning, he got tired of it and he let me go home. I didn't leave my apartment the next day except to go out after the extra editions that called me the private investigator whose position and importance in regard to the case is not clear at the moment. At 9 that night, I was at home again and the door buzzer sounded. I thought it was a delivery boy bringing some liquor I'd ordered. Hey, you're fast.
Go on. Get back inside.
What do you want here?
Go on back up or I'll kill you. You know I will, don't you?
You look crazy enough to. But it'd be stupid. You'd never get out of this apartment building. What's the matter with you anyway? What do you want?
You were in with Douglas Taylor, weren't you?
What do you mean?
He told us about you.
When did he tell you?
That he brought somebody else in for protection. He said we'd never find out who it was. But I did find out, didn't I?
You're pretty mixed up about something, aren't you?
Oh, don't lie to me. If you'd only stopped when he told us you were going to, none of this would have happened. But you didn't. He kept coming back. We told him to have to stop some way. We couldn't pay anymore. We got nothing left.
Now, wait a minute.
Now, you wait. Now, he had a file on me, and I gotta have it. And if you don't give it to me, I'll kill you. We've gotta have it.
I haven't got it.
Ah, that's what he said, and it didn't do any good. I killed him anyway. It won't do you any good to lie now.
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are. It won't do you any good. Don't you know that?
You're way wrong. Now, listen to me.
No, I won't.
You told me that you killed Taylor because he lied to you, didn't you?
Yes, I...
And I believe you. I believe that you'd kill anybody who you thought was lying to you.
And I will.
I know you would. Now, listen. Since I know that if I had a choice of telling you the truth and saving my life or lying when I knew you'd kill me, wouldn't I tell you the truth?
Well...
Huh? If I had your file or whatever it is, wouldn't I give it to you to save my life?
All right, then give it.
I don't have it. I don't have anything of yours. I don't know who you are. I don't know your name. All I know is that you're wrong. You're mixed up, confused. You think I'm someone I'm not.
Oh, Taylor told me about you.
What did he say to make you so sure that he meant me?
You came to his apartment. You were the only one, and you were in the paper.
If I was mixed up in anything with Taylor, I wouldn't have come to the apartment. I would have stayed as far away as I could. Don't you see how wrong you are? You've got everything wrong.
But you knew him.
A lot of people knew him. I hired him once in a while, that's all. I don't know what you're talking about. You can believe that.
Well, I gotta go.
Where? You don't know where to go, do you?
Oh, I shouldn't have come. If I'd been able to think, I wouldn't have come. But I don't think anymore. I just do things. My life's all winding up, and it goes faster and faster, and I can't stop it.
And, Douglas Taylor did all this to you?
No, not all of it. Part of it I did myself.
I don't know anything about it or about you. I feel sorry for you. You're driving yourself crazy, aren't you?
I did what I had to do.
Now, why don't you sit down?
Hey, what's that? Who's that? Don't try to answer it.
I won't. It's just a boy bringing some liquor inside the door.
You're lying. It's the police. They're coming in.
No, it isn't the police. He just put the liquor down against the door. See? Now he's gone.
I don't believe you.
Why would the police come here?
Because they're looking for me.
Not in my apartment. You can believe that. See? There's nobody there anymore. The police would be breaking in by now.
Yeah, it was a delivery boy.
Sure it was. You got nothing to be afraid of.
I don't think anymore.
You're a nervous wreck. You know why?
Yeah, I know.
Because you're fighting something you know you can never beat.
I've been doing that all right.
Don't you know you'd be 100 times better off if you gave yourself up to Taylor's killing?
No, I can't do that.
Why not?
I can't. I gotta get away.
You'll never get away from this.
Then I'll die.
Taylor was black. What did he have on you?
How did you know that?
There'll be a lot of it these days. Be as bad off as you think if you...
This isn't even important any... Go.
What is important like this, huh? A family?
What makes you think
Because it sticks out all over you. A father with a fur collar on his overcoat and a mother who belongs to every civic club in town.
All right, and a sister engaged to a lawyer. That's why I can't give myself up and have our name all over the papers. That's why I gotta find that file Taylor had and get rid of it and then get away. I've almost ruined the family now. Dad's been bled dry, keeping Taylor from turning my name in. And now they don't have to pay anymore.
What do they think about his being dead?
Well, they asked me, and I told them I didn't do it. I think they believe me. It's all right. Anyway, it's better now than it has been for the last 2 years.
That long?
Yeah, 2 years. It started when Dad got a feeling about what I was doing. He hired Taylor to find out, and when he finished his job, that's what he threw at us. Hey, wait a minute. Where you going now? Wait a minute.
I'm going to get a light if that's okay. I live here, you know.
Oh, I gotta go. I don't know why I've talked like this.
You wanted someone to talk to. I'm not as sorry for you as I was because I think you're playing it stupid.
Well, I don't care what you think. I did what I had to do, and I know what I gotta do now.
You ought to give yourself up, and you know it. Now, I'm through talking sense. If you want to blow it all up your way, go ahead.
I know what I have to do.
There's nothing you can do.
Now, look. I want you to come down to the ground floor with me. All right, we'll use the stairway. And you know that I'll kill you if I have to.
I've gathered that, yes. Well, Anytime you want to leave. There were enough people on the sidewalk to stop him, but I didn't start anything because I knew that he would open up with his .38 without thinking about who might get hit. He had the fear-crazed look in his eyes again as he left me just outside the entrance and started across the street. I realized what was going to happen before he did. Either he had been spotted and followed, or my building had been staked out. It didn't make any difference. When the police officers saw us together, it was all they needed.
Hey, you! Stay where you are! What do you want? We're police. We want to talk to you. What about? Make it a break! Hold it! Hold it! All right, Parker! Marlin! Stop him!
The family turned out to be the Bardets, the father a judge, and so on. The son got at least one wish. He didn't live to stand trial for murder. But as far as protecting his family, he'd done nothing. The whole story rocked Hartford for weeks following. Expense account item 2, miscellaneous, $180. Expense account total, $181.20. Remarks? For a number of reasons, I'm sorry I had to drop the arson case for this interlude, but somehow a $500,000 loss, which I couldn't have prevented anyway, doesn't seem as important as the destruction of an entire family. And I couldn't prevent that either. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmond O'Brien in the title role and is written by Gil Dowd with music by Wilbur Hatch. Edmond O'Brien will soon be seen starring in the Paramount picture Silver City. Featured in tonight's cast were Ray Hartman, Joseph Kearns, Edgar Barrier, Jeanette Nolan, and Hy Averback. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is produced and directed by Jaime Del Valle. This is Dick Cutting, inviting you to join us next week at this time when Edmond O'Brien returns as
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Uncle Sam gave 36 million pounds of U.S. farm surplus eggs and milk to save the Yugoslavs, but somebody had to pay the freight. CARE undertook to raise it from the American people, and at $5.35 per 300-pound package, the people gave. 3 million Yugoslav mothers and children have already received the CARE eggs and milk, but with a month to go before winter closes down the program, 1 million remain to be reached. You can reach 100 with only $5.35. Mail it to your local CARE office, or to CARE Los Angeles, or CARE New York. The Vaughn Monroe Show is back from vacation. Vaughn, the Moon Maids, the Moon Men, Ziggy Talent, and their singing guest stars will again be heard every Saturday beginning tonight. In fact, on most of these same CBS radio stations, Vaughn returns to action, takes place immediately following station identification. And remember, the Frankie Lane Show is your date with slick syncopation every Sunday afternoon on the CBS Radio Network. From Hollywood, it's time now for Edmond O'Brien as...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Willis Dunhill, Mr. Dollar. I took Marvin Shields' place at the Plymouth Life Insurance Company.
Oh, yes. Yes, I read about that in the journal, Mr. Dunhill. I'm glad to hear from you.
Thank you. I'm told you've done a lot of work for the company.
Yes, I've handled a few things.
I have an assignment for you now, if you're available.
I have an appointment at 10, but I'll be free by noon, if that's all right. What's the case?
Well, a policyholder, Millard Ward, was stabbed to death. He was a bosun on a ship, and according to the cable, the crewman who killed him is being held. His name is Louis Radnick.
Sounds open and shut, Mr. Dunhill. Is there an insurance angle?
Possibly, yes. Something about Radnick and the dead man's wife. The ship is due in New Orleans tomorrow afternoon, and we'd like you to go down and look it over.
Edmond O'Brien in a transcribed adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Plymouth Insurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditure during my investigation of the Millard Ward matter. Expense account item 1, $118.40 airfare and incidentals between Hartford and New Orleans. When I got there, the newspapers were bannering the expected arrival of what they called a death ship. And at 4 that afternoon, I was standing with 2 homicide men on the edge of a crowd of the curious when the squat freighter nosed into the Harmony Street wharf and was moored. A single crew gangway was put over the side, and the homicide men and I went aboard.
I'm Lieutenant Tracy, New Orleans Police. You one of the officers of the ship?
Yes, sir. The captain's in his quarters. I'm the chief mate, sir. Edward Donovan.
This is Sergeant Wright. This is Mr. Dollar from Ward's Insurance Company.
How are you?
Mr. Donovan.
I guess you know how it goes. Ward's body's in the isolation room in the hospital, and Louis Radnick's in the brig.
What about the knife that was used?
We, left it where it was.
In the body?
Yes, sir. You want to talk to Radnick?
I planned on waiting until we got him ashore. What about you, Dollar?
I guess it's not important now, but I would like to see where it happened.
Sure, it's just forward here in the forepeak.
Let's take a look, then. Will you stay by the gangway, right? Wagon should be here any time. Which way is it?
Up here, sir. Ship's plenty messy, but we put the men in their quarters until this was taken off our hands.
What does Radnick have to say about it, Mr. Donovan?
Nothing. He wouldn't open his peep after it happened, and hasn't since. Hasn't said a word.
Must have said something.
Nothing that wasn't out and out evasive. Happened during my watch, 4 to 8. Ward had some men up here on this deck.
This was last Saturday morning?
Yes, sir. They were chipping and red lead and some rust, and Ward took Radnick into the forepeak to get some more paint. Radnick came out alone and fell to again without saying anything. Then when somebody asked him, he said Ward must have stayed below. It's right down here.
How long was that after Radnick came out, do you know?
About 20 minutes is as close as we could come.
When was Ward found, then?
It wasn't for about 40 minutes. You know how men are. They figured they could take it easy as long as the bosun was out of sight. The ship's carpenter finally showed up and asked where he was. He found him and reported to me. You want to go down now?
Yeah, I think we better look at him.
We'll watch the ladder, huh? It's pretty sheer. I'll go and get some lights on.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
No, thank you.
Still a little damp in here. We were taking some seas this morning. Now this is where it happened. He was lying across here.
Mm-hmm. Where was his head?
Well, his head was right here, his feet over there. He was lying on his side, and the knife was in his chest.
Did Radnick admit that the knife was here?
It wasn't his. We stored the twine and rope down here and kept the knife handy.
Well, Radnick admitted being here with Ward, didn't he?
He didn't say it, but we all knew he was. I tell you, he didn't say anything. When I asked him, he said, he's dead, isn't he? If you think I killed him, lock me up and leave me alone. I'll talk to the police when I get ashore.
The scene of the crime, the forepeak, a small compartment in the very forward part of the ship, seemed to hold little else in the way of information. As we left, the chief mate explained that there obviously had been bad blood between Radnick and the dead bosun, and one crewman had allegedly once heard them arguing about Ward's wife. With the permission of the lieutenant, while he and the coroner arranged for the removal of the body, I went to the airless cabin that served as a brig and met the accused man. He was 23 years old.
I've been saying that I talked to the police and nobody else. I still mean it, and that goes for you.
That's your privilege, Radnick, but when you talk to the police, you'll be talking to me, too. We're working together on this thing.
I don't get it.
I told you I was hired by Ward's insurance company. I want to find out if his policy had anything to do with your killing him.
Who told you I killed him?
Oh, it seems to be pretty widely accepted.
Did anybody see me do anything like that?
The men knew you hated each other.
How much does that mean?
There seems to have been something between you and Ward's wife.
That's a lie.
Why should anybody lie about it?
Who said that?
I don't know who it was. One of the men who heard you and Ward arguing about her.
I'll break his neck if I find out who. It's a lie.
For your sake, I hope it is. She's being pulled in for questioning this afternoon. You can see that if there was something between you, it'd be better if you told us.
There wasn't anything. I hardly knew her. But for some crazy reason, Ward thought there was. I think it was because he was older, and those guys are always like that.
How well did you know her?
Well, just to talk to, have a few drinks together.
While he was out on the trip?
Yeah, while he was out.
I guess I should have figured that.
I don't care what you make it sound like. There wasn't anything wrong. He and I sailed with the company for quite a while, most of the time on the same ship. Early this summer, I got sick and missed a trip. That's when I met her.
Where?
In a bar. But there wasn't ever anything between us. Ward never would believe it, but it's true.
What made Ward think you did?
I don't know. I tried to find out who was talking to him, but he'd never say.
Somebody in the bar where you say you met her?
I don't know. He'd never say.
Where's the bar?
The International, mostly. Then there was the Oakland up on Common.
Good. Why'd you kill him, Radnick? Self-defense?
I didn't kill him. Everybody thinks I did. I didn't.
How did he die, then?
I don't know. When I left him, he was still alive. I brought a bucket of lead and went back on deck with the rest of the guys. I didn't hear that he was dead until everybody did.
That's your story.
It's no story. I don't have to make up a story. All I have to do is tell the truth, and that's it.
If it is, you'd be better off to lie and claim self-defense. Nobody's going to buy it the way it stands now. I heard him repeat his statement a few minutes later to a blank-faced Lieutenant Tracy. And when the prisoner had been started on his way to police headquarters, we did what checking we could through the crew. Everyone agreed that the two men openly hated each other. Radnick had always been given the dirty or dangerous work. There had been muttered threats from both. It was a situation, they explained, that would naturally grow out of all proportion aboard a ship, and there was no escape from facing one another every day. We left the ship in Lieutenant Tracy's office, and there met the widow, a plain girl, obviously a northerner, in her early 20s, with too much arch penciled into her eyebrows, too much red on her mouth, but hardly enough emotion showing to fit the circumstances.
Sit down, Miss Ward.
Sure. Thanks.
Here's a chair.
Oh, thank you. I want to tell you something before we get any further. Louis Radnick didn't kill him.
Everything we've learned so far says just the opposite of that, Mrs. Ward.
I don't care. Louis didn't kill him
What makes you so sure of that, Mrs. Ward?
because he didn't have any reason to. I know my husband thought there was something going on between Louis and me. He knocked me around enough trying to get me to say so. But there wasn't nothing. We weren't any more than good friends.
We understood that you saw quite a bit of him while your husband was away.
I didn't see quite a bit of him at all. Once in a while, I'd go crazy in that crummy room where I live, and I'd leave. Go have a drink at the International or the Oakland. And a few times I ran into Louis and talked to him. It never went any further than that. We never even left together.
Don't you have any other friends?
Not many. I don't seem to get along with the people down here. But Louis's different.
You don't like New Orleans?
Not from the minute I got off the train from New York.
Louis Radnick's from up north, too, isn't he?
That's right. Chicago.
Why'd you stay here if you hated it that way?
Oh, I don't know. I was always going to leave just for a visit anyway. But I never did.
And I suppose you're figuring on leaving now,
Yeah, I think I will.
With your husband dead, there's no more reason for you to stay in a town you hate, huh?
If you think you can make anything out of that, go ahead and try. You can't.
Well, you'll have to admit it looks pretty bad.
I don't care how it looks. You can't make anything out of it. You're a cop, so you got to push people around and pry. Well, I'll save you the trouble. I was sick and tired of being married to that fat slob. I hated him.
Why didn't you leave him?
It wouldn't have lasted much longer.
But this way, you might get some insurance money. Did you tell Louis Radnick how you felt?
We never talked about my husband. We talked about New York and things like that. Louis didn't kill him. He didn't have any reason to.
Okay, Miss Ward, unless Mr. Dollar has something more, you can go.
I can leave?
Sure, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, can I see Louis?
He's not seeing anybody but a lawyer right now. There'll be a coroner's inquest tomorrow morning. I think it'd be a good idea if you come to that.
Yeah? Where do I go and what time?
Sergeant outside will tell you. Thank you for coming down. Please accept our sympathy in your grief.
You're sweet. Both of you.
What do you suppose that pitch was for?
I thought maybe she's trying to clear herself of any part of it, if she and the boy did plan it. If he admits it, she can just keep on saying what she told her.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll check the 2 bars that she mentioned. She said they never left together. I'd like to know if that holds up, wouldn't you? I talked to the bartenders and quite a few of the patrons at the International in the Oakland, both that afternoon and again that evening. I ran into 3 people who remembered Mrs. Ward and Radnick being together, and one, a waiter, was quite definite in saying he had seen them leave separately, but never together. On one hand, it did nothing to clear Radnick, but on the other, it made it look like any premeditated motive was going to be hard to prove. Tenants at the Ward's rooming house didn't help either. None of them remembered ever seeing a man of Radnick's description in the building. That's the way it stood at 10 the next morning when the coroner's inquest got underway.
Mr. Herbert Massey, please.
Right here.
Will you stand up, please, Mr. Massey?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Massey, you're employed as a ship's carpenter on the same ship Millard Ward worked on?
Yes, sir. I've been on it 4 years now.
Is it true that you discovered his body?
Yes, sir.
Will you tell the jury in your own words how that happened?
Yes, sir. I knew that Ward had some men doing maintenance work on the foredeck. I wanted to borrow 2 to help me for a minute with some work I was doing. The men told me he was in the forepeak, so I went up.
Mr. Massey, who told you Ward was in the forepeak?
All of them, I think.
Did Louis Radnick say so?
I think he did. Well, anyhow, I remember somebody said he went in the forepeak with Radnick and must have fell asleep. It was Carl Nixon, I think.
All right, and then what happened?
But then I went up and found him. He was lying there with a knife sticking in him.
Was he moving?
No, sir. He was dead.
Then what did you do?
I felt for his pulse, and then I came back up on the deck and reported to the chief officer, Mr. Donovan.
Did you say anything to the men?
No, sir. I went down the other side of the deck and onto the bridge deck and found Mr. Donovan reported to him.
After the testimony of the ship's carpenter, a little more was heard from a few of the crewmen. None of it seemed to change the picture, but the reports from the autopsy surgeon, together with the one from the police laboratory, did. A, the knife had entered Ward's body at such an angle that the fatal wound could have been self-inflicted. B, there were no fingerprints on the handle of the murder weapon. C, Ward was wearing leather gloves when he died. And finally, the possibility of suicide was strengthened by the fact that there were bloodstains on the right glove. Everything was still indefinite, but I wondered how Radnick would react to the news. And after the inquest, I went to his cell to find out.
Still trying to save the insurance company some money?
I do when I can. I just came from the inquest, Radnick.
I understand I could have saved the taxpayers some money on that.
How come?
They don't have an inquest when there's a confession, do they?
What confession, Radnick?
I killed him. That's what everybody wants to hear, isn't it?
Wait a minute. What brought this?
I killed him because he was trying to kill me. And that's going to be my plea. I killed him in self-defense. What's the matter? Don't you like that story either?
We will return you to yours truly, Johnny Dollar, in just a moment. Vaughn Monroe's back from vacation. Yes, on most of these same CBS radio stations, you can again make the Vaughn Monroe Show a singing, dancing date every Saturday night. Vaughn, the Moon Maids, the Moon Men, and Ziggy Talent, plus singing guests, will be very truly yours just a little later this evening on CBS Radio. Don't miss them. And now with our star, Edmond O'Brien, we bring you the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
The men of the crew said we hated each other. You can ask him how that crazy guy was riding me all the time and giving me all the dirt aboard.
Wait a minute, Radnick.
I was a guy on the outward side when we were painting davits. He was trying to kill me then, waiting for me to fall over the side.
Radnick.
Well, I didn't. So he got me in the forepeak and tried to brain me. So I stuck a knife in him. He was off his head, and I had to keep him from killing me.
Are you through?
That's all there was to it.
Why didn't you tell us this in the first place?
Because I didn't want to.
What made you change your mind?
I got sick of lying.
Have you hired a lawyer?
I got a right to, haven't I?
He counted all the evidence against you, figured in the fact that there wasn't an eyewitness, and decided to play it this way.
Why not? Everybody knows I killed him, don't they?
We want to be sure why.
I told you, self-defense.
What did he try to hit you with?
Took a swing at me with his fist. Then he picked up a can of paint.
Did he swing that at you?
Yeah, he started to. Then I backed up and got the knife. Then when he swung again, I figured there was only one way to stop him, and that's what I did.
Did you try to get away?
He was between me and the ladder.
Didn't you yell or anything?
I didn't have time to think of anything like that. He'd gone off his head.
Over you and his wife?
Over nothing except what was going through that crazy mind of his. There wasn't anything else, nothing between her and me. But he tried to kill me, so I had to kill him to save my life.
Who's your lawyer, Randy?
His name's Waterman.
Where'd you get him?
He does a lot of work for the union.
You should have stuck to business problems.
What do you mean by that?
I don't think you'll get to first base with the plea.
Well, that's what happened.
Sure. It's happened before when there weren't any witnesses. This time we're too close to a motive. I think a jury will fill in what we don't have.
I guess that's a chance you got to take.
I guess so. I'll see you later. That can of paint he was swinging. What did he do with it when you stabbed him?
He dropped it, I guess. I wasn't noticing things like that.
Okay, I just wondered. I want to be able to give Ward's wife all the details of your new story.
She had nothing to do with it. He was crazy, that's all.
He's not alone. Any sane man would have admitted a self-defense killing like you described right after it happened. And you shouldn't have wiped off the knife.
I didn't wipe...
What was that?
I said all I'm going to say. Now leave me alone.
Sure. You better work on that story. And I don't think a new lawyer would hurt.
I don't care how full of holes it is, we've got to find more than we have now.
I know that.
If that boy's guilty, I want to hand in some evidence that says so and nothing else.
You'd better go back to the ship.
Yeah, I think so, too. Go over the scene of the killing again.
Seems to me we ought to be able to settle that can of paint he says Ward was swinging at him. One way or another, that would help.
Where's that ship's carpenter? You suppose he went back aboard?
I hope so. If he discovered the body, he ought to be able to fill in some details.
That's right. You know, what's his name, Massey?
Herbert Massey. Probably the same thing going through your mind. That the last person we think saw Ward alive isn't too far separated from the one that says he's the first person that saw him dead.
You aren't thinking that boy is innocent?
Not necessarily. How about you?
If he was, and with everything stacked up against him the way it is, that lawyer could have figured it was safer to have him take a self-defense plea.
I think you better go back to the ship, don't you? This must be it.
Yeah, come in.
Hello, Mr. Massey. You remember me, Lieutenant Tracy?
Oh, sure, from this morning at the inquest.
That's right. This is Mr. Dollar, insurance investigator.
Hello.
How are you, Mr. Massey?
We came back to talk to you, Mr. Massey, because we still don't have enough evidence to make a decent charge of murder against Radney.
Well, sure, I'll do anything I can to help the police. Sit down, why don't you?
Yeah, thank you.
You know, all I can say is what I saw. I found Ward, that's all.
Sure, we know that.
But you did know that they didn't get along too well, didn't you?
Well, I heard more about that after it happened than I heard before. I got my own work to do aboard. I don't work much with the crew. Afterwards, I heard them talking about it.
Mr. Massey, how clearly do you remember things the morning you found Ward dead?
I don't know what you mean.
Do you remember exactly what you saw and what you did?
Well, sure, I think so.
You sure he was dead?
Sure, I told you that. I felt for his pulse.
What made you do that?
I don't know. I guess I just remembered that's the way to tell.
Where did you feel for it?
In his throat.
You remember that, huh?
Yeah, sure I do. When I saw him lying there, I called his name first, and then when I saw the knife, I leaned over him and saw his eyes open. Then I felt for his pulse.
How long did all this take, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. Not very long. I came up on deck right away. What's so important about that?
We just want to get everything straight.
What can you remember about the forepeak, Mr. Massey? Was everything in order?
Everything in order? I don't quite know what you mean.
Well, do you remember anything unusual, anything out of place?
No, I didn't notice anything. Why do you ask me that?
It's important. Do you remember a can of paint rolling around on the deck?
Can of paint? What's a can of paint got to do with it?
Do you remember seeing one?
No. What would I be doing looking for a can of paint at a time like that?
When you saw he was dead, weren't you startled and didn't you look around? I would have.
No, all I thought was going to the old man or the mate and telling him. Say, why are you asking me this kind of question?
We told you we don't have enough evidence against Radnick, and we thought you could help us.
We've got to be sure he killed Ward.
Why, sure he did.
How do you know that?
Oh, everybody knows it, all the men.
But nobody saw him do it.
Everybody knows there was trouble between them, don't they?
Yeah.
Everybody knows they went after paint together and Ward didn't come out.
And then you went in, and when you come out, that's when it turned out that Ward was dead.
Yeah, sure, that's right.
And you didn't notice any signs of a struggle?
No, I didn't notice anything but Ward.
Well, I'll tell you the way it stands. Radnick said he didn't kill him.
Well, then he must be lying.
Well, that's what we thought, too. Everything that anybody said made it look like he was lying.
Why, sure he is.
But then he changed his story. Then he said Ward had tried to kill him and that he stabbed him in self-defense. He said Ward picked up a heavy can of paint, tried to brain him.
I don't know what happened.
Well, a fight like that would have been heard, and there would have been things knocked around. But you say you didn't notice anything, and the men say they didn't hear anything.
I don't know anything about that. I was on the afterdeck, so I didn't hear anything. And I didn't notice anything because I just didn't look around.
We don't think there was a fight. We think either Radnick just stuck him or that somebody else killed him.
Everybody knows Radnick did it.
It could be that everybody just thinks he did.
Everybody knew there's trouble between them. It was shaping up, so when you found Ward dead, naturally everybody thought Radnick did it.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody did.
You came out and told the mate you found Ward's body, and then everybody just naturally figured that Radnick had killed him.
That's right.
But what if he didn't, Massey?
I don't know what you mean.
If Radnick didn't kill him, who did?
We just want to get it straight. If Radnick didn't kill him, who did?
I don't know.
Who else was in the forepeak?
I was. That's what you mean, isn't it? I was in there. I found Ward in there. What you mean is you think if Radnick didn't kill him, I did. Isn't that right?
Somebody killed him.
I found him there. I tell you, he was dead when I found him. That's all I can say. It's all I know.
Okay, Massey. You weren't planning on going anyplace, were you?
Now, you can't arrest me. I didn't do anything.
We just don't want you to leave town. We want to talk to you again if we can't build anything better against Radnick.
The lieutenant put some men checking Massey's background for a motive in case we needed it, and it looked like we might. And then we went back to Lieutenant Tracy's office and looked at one another. Our circumstantial evidence was one thing, but we had nothing in the way of actual evidence. The information on Massey came in, and it was incomplete and worthless. More came in on the association between Radnick and Mrs. Ward. All it did was make us wonder whether they were innocent or smart. There was such a complete lack of anything to put our fingers on that we decided on some pressure tactics to eliminate at least some of the possibilities.
You lied to us, Rodney. We want to know why you did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Why'd you give us that stuff about killing Ward?
What stuff?
We think you were lying.
We don't think you killed him at all.
Are you crazy?
We think it looked so bad for you that you and that lawyer decided the best thing to do was try a self-defense plea.
What are you giving me?
What did you give us? You said you killed him.
Everybody else said I did.
That's what we've run into, too.
What do you want, then?
The true story.
Why did you give us that self-defense pitch?
Well, it was like you said. Everything was against me. We thought it was the best way to handle things.
Did you really kill him or didn't you?
I'm not going to say any more until I talk to my lawyer.
Why not, Radnick? We said we don't think you killed him.
It's your chance. And why not talk?
Because I think you got something up your sleeve.
We have.
We've got more than you ever thought we'd have.
I don't care what you got. I told you what happened.
What do you think Ward's wife told us?
She had a good reason to double-cross you, Radnick. Without you, she doesn't have to split the insurance money.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She tried to make us think that she didn't have anything to do with it, and we let her. She tried to clear herself.
She thought she was saying something else, but what she really told us was that she was tired of her husband and wanted to get away from him. Then she told us you came along.
You want to see her signed statement?
What did she sign?
A paper that says she asked you not to do anything. But you said you were going to get rid of her husband.
You're lying.
I got it right here.
She's a dirty, rotten liar. If she signed anything like that, she's a dirty liar.
Yeah, but the state won't think so and is building a case against you.
Well, it's not true. I don't care anymore because I can see that even a lawyer was wrong. I don't have a chance, and I'm sick of lying.
Tell us about it, then.
It was her. After I met her, she asked me to do it. She said, kill him. She begged me. She said, with the money we'd get, we could leave New Orleans. Honest, I'm tired of lying, and this is the real truth. She said we'd go away together. I let him ride me the whole trip. And then when Ward and I were in the forepeak, it was only 2 days from home. I knew I had to do something, and I did it.
He didn't attack you. You just stabbed him.
I don't know what happened to me. We were there, and I knew it was my last chance. I didn't know what I was doing. I just saw a chance, and I took the knife, and I stabbed him. I wish I hadn't.
You'd planned it, though, hadn't you?
I wish I hadn't. I wish I'd never met her. I wish I'd never come to this town and met her. I don't know what happened to me. I don't know. I don't know.
Expense account item 2, miscellaneous, $183.15. Item 3, same as item 1, transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $419.95. Remarks? I don't think any are needed. It was a clear case of attempted insurance fraud. But if you can figure out where things like this start, what causes them, and insure against them, you'll save a lot more money than you've saved on this matter. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars Edmond O'Brien in the title role and is written by Gil Dowd with music by Wilbur Hatch. Edmond O'Brien will soon be seen starring in the Paramount Pictures Technicolor production, Silver City. Featured in tonight's cast were Sidney Miller, Barton Yarborough, Bill Conrad, Hy Everback, and Gene Bates. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle.
This is Dan Coverly inviting you to join us next week at this time when Edmond O'Brien returns as...
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.